Starting live video. Okay.
Hey everyone in the Mediocre to Magical Academy. Ashley Amudzai here, the Psychic Life Coach. I am so excited to bring to you another amazing guest, Eric Nelson, my buddy in Reno, Nevada. Thank you for being on the show. And I know he has so much genius locked into his head. He is a health coach, but he is so much more. And I am so excited to endorse him and talk all of the things. Feel free to ask any questions that you guys have. You can drop them in the comments below and we'll be sure to answer and make sure that you guys feel supported and complete. But with that, I want to share a little bit of a story about how I met Eric. First of all, thank you again for being here.
You're very welcome. Thank you.
I met him at a meditation. He was sitting across the room and he was so focused and intentional and poised. I was like, wow, who is that guy? Like, I feel like I know how to meditate and I'm really good at this, but he was so into it. And then anyway, somehow at the end, we ended up connecting. And many of you guys know I've done health coaching for 7 years, and I really have taught the basics of how to eat clean and hormonally balanced and how to eat healthy for your body. And when I really was diving into Eric and his practice, I realized he is next level in every aspect. And we just had a conversation about, he's like, I'm telling him my symptoms, and like, how are your vitamin D levels, right? Like, he knows so much more. And so I'm really excited to introduce him to you and his programs and all of his knowledge. So thank you. How about, I'd love to hear a little bit more about you and how, like, what's your story? How did you become a coach?
Oh man. Okay. So, actually a buddy of mine was the one who said, Eric, you need to become a coach. You need to get into the coaching world. And I originally, got a coaching job, not to like tell the whole entire story, but I was training hardcore back in the day, working on myself, and then I moved into wanting to help others and coach others. I got a job at a weight loss facility, and I made a goal for myself. I've never really struggled with weight loss, so I said I need to understand weight loss. This is a big problem that I want to solve in the community, help a lot of people. So I became an expert in weight loss, worked at a weight loss facility, and helped a ton of people lose weight and get healthy. And then that training modality kind of turned into, basically I asked the question, where does weight loss come from? Does it come from exercise or food? And once I discovered that it's more about food and that we can really, it's not more squats and more push-ups, but it's healthy eating, clean eating, the right way to eat, so on and so forth. That's what launched me off into like health coaching specifically. And now that has advanced into focus on gut health, thyroid health, holistic health coaching, mindset, all that kind of stuff. So it started with training, more push-ups, more squats, and realized, hey, we need more than just more movement. It's about what we're eating as well, to improve all areas of life.
I love that so much. And as you guys know, the whole goal of this group is elevating our lifestyle, our impact in the world, everything from mediocre to magical. And you know, in this academy, we go over a lot of the metaphysical and manifestation and all of that, but we can do all the meditation, we can set all the attention, we can carry on with our mindset, but what's also really important is our human physical body. Mm-hmm. And that's where Eric comes in, where we're really diving into, yeah, there is the working out, but how do we handle that? We don't have to obsess over it. We can use it as a tool to get us where we want to be. And the importance of nutrition, because we are so supported by Mama Gaia, by just like everything around us. Like if we're eating natural whole foods, that is when your life becomes magical.
Yep, 100%. And I'm glad you touched on that because I like working with other healers and light workers and and people like that in the community, because there's always ways to elevate your vibration. There's always ways to increase your health. And you can tell the difference when you have not been eating in the fashion that fits your body and fits your vibration, because you will lower your vibration. It's just like anything out there. When you do good, you're going to get good. When you do bad, you're going to get bad. So I like that you brought that up, because everyone needs to be improving their vibrational frequency with that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And also, so there's so many layers to cover and talk about today. One of them is like your relationship with food, but also understanding that, I'm eating healthy, like it's torture. It's not. It's totally not. You're honoring your body. And I want to share a quick story. I haven't shared this one with you yet either, but spark notes of it. I got a carrot or carrots from my grandfather's garden, and I don't eat a lot of meat, and I think about, the animal cruelty or things. It's my personal choice. But when I went to eat this carrot, I thought, oh my gosh, like this is technically alive. Am I going to hurt it? And in that moment, I'm a psychic, right? In that moment, I hear, no, thank you. Because this vegetable has been nurtured from the nutrient-dense soil, empowered by the sunshine, that life force energy in this food. And when I consume it, it becomes a part of me and my body and my energetic frequency, and I get to be of higher service to the world because of that. So it was deep, deep gratitude. Versus if it were to just die, right, then that life force energy dies. So I just love.
So I'm totally going to piggyback on that because I actually use a similar example as that, right? So when we're balanced, when we have our gut healed, when we're in a massively healthy place, that carrot will do what it's supposed to do if you set that intention and it has that life force in it. But if we're out of balance, if we're out of homeostasis, if we don't have a healed gut, that carrot's life force is going to be dissipated incorrectly in the body. We're not going to absorb it. It's not going to be assimilated into the vitamin A that we need. It's not going to do what it needs to do when we're out of balance, out of homeostasis, right? So when we're in a super healthy position, yes, that carrot will do what it's supposed to do because it's a carrot. It knows what to do. It's natural life force. But when you don't have a healed gut, when you're out of balance, when you're out of homeostasis, that carrot is not going to do what it needs to do for you to get those nutrients. Therefore, you need to heal your body so that that carrot can do what it's naturally designed to do. Does that make sense?
Yes. Oh, that's so
So
good.
it always matters where you're at, right? A super healthy person is going to get a lot of benefit from a carrot. Someone who's out of balance and not in a good healthy position in their life, that carrot is not going to be able to transmit that life force into your gut, your body, your bloodstream, and the rest of everything, right? So it's very important to know where you're at.
Right, and totally. And the importance of having a coach like Eric, for example, because you can eat as healthy as you want, but are you really healed? And I know that anything from Hashimoto's, you mentioned Hashimoto's, lupus, whatever, like you can support any client through that, which is amazing. But gut health is key.
Yep.
So let's talk about that. Let's talk about your programs that you have. Like if somebody wants to set up a session with you, obviously I want to say it's not only the masculine of like, yes, we could do workouts, yes, we can do nutrition plans, but it's also, I met him at a meditation, right? Like it's the mindset, it's a spirituality. And I think that's such a beautiful blend, the blend of the masculine and the feminine. And that's where you have this beautiful, that's where the magic is. So tell us a little bit about your programs and what that looks like.
Well, first of all, whenever I start someone down a program and they come to me and they express some changes that they want to go through, first and foremost, I have to understand why they want that. What's their desire? What's their why behind motivation, right? Is it just because they're suffering or is it just because they want more? Their why factor is very, very important. And I do work with a lot of moms. You have a daughter, obviously. And so a lot of the responses from these moms is I want to be around more for my kids. I want to have more energy for my kids, so on and so forth. So first of all, it depends on your why and your motivation of why you're coming to me with that help. And I already forgot your question because I went on a tangent there.
That's
but
okay.
it's
I just zoned into what you're saying.
It was something about your programs, right?
Yeah.
So starting with the program. So I always like to start with the why of why do you want to do this? Where are you at right now? But yeah, I offer I offer tangents through the story of my life here. I just kind of go. But I offer a 12-week program or a 3-month program. I offer 90 minutes to 2-hour power sessions. And I always do free sessions with everyone if you just want to sit down and chit chat and see where you're at. Discovery session to get your why and your motivations and to just see where you're at and see if I can even help you and be of service, right? Because if I can't be of service to you, I'm going to be upfront and I'm going to tell you that and I'm going to move you to someone who can be of service to you. So that's really, really important. And my 12-week program is basically focused on healing your gut and increasing the energy and frequency in your life because everyone wants more energy, and I have a lot of it, and I just want to give it to the world, right? So energy is everything. I don't think you'll ask anyone out there. No one wants to go, be done with their day at 11 a.m., right? No one wants to be having a nap and sleep and be tired. No one wants that. Everyone wants more energy. They want to be awake. They want to sleep good. So that's what my program is about. It's about healing the gut because that's where everything begins, and it's about increasing the energy and the frequency in your life using the food, supplements, basically focusing on the fundamental 4 of a healthy lifestyle, which is food and supplements, sleep, movement, and relationships. And when you can really improve all of that as a whole and focus on healing the gut, then that's basically what my program entails. There's a lot of factors, but that's basically what it entails.
Oh, that's so amazing. And I love it. And we were talking earlier, and he said, basically when you do that discovery session or if you do that 90-minute power hour where you're really setting the foundation, it's not a one-size-fits fits all, because every body is different. It's where are you at now. It doesn't matter where you are on this scale of just beginning or you are super extreme and you're really familiar with this. It doesn't matter where you're at on that scale. We start with where you're at right now and then build a program from that.
And I'm sure you can relate to that, right? Like that's how most coaches probably do it. It makes a lot of sense, right? We have to meet you where you're at. I think that's huge.
And I love that your knowledge base is wide enough, broad enough that you have that confidence to be like, we can start anywhere. And I mean, just in the conversations that we have had, I'm so impressed with the knowledge that you have. Again, it's next level. It's not just, eat healthy, eat clean, buy organic. It's like, let's get down. What were you saying earlier about there's always next level. There's, there's supplementation, there's essential oils, there's
always more biohacks in the world that you can kind of find and create and gadgets that you can play with and examine. And, you can buy a $400, $500 Oura ring and track your sleep down to every metric. You can track. There's a lot of tools out there that you can go next level. But it does start with, like you were saying, like the basics, like what are you eating? How are you sleeping? Are you getting 8 hours of sleep? Are you getting your daily movement, your 10,000 steps? Do you have loved ones in your life and friends that you can reach out to and get that oxytocin release by eye contact and hugging and loving? And do you do a gratitude journal? So there's always next level stuff that you can do. It's always going to be out there, but it depends on where you're at. If step one is not eating ice cream, that's fine. Let's start there, because honestly, what it comes down to every day of the week, I talked about this yesterday too. Progress equals happiness. Progress equals happiness. You're going to be the happiest when you're making progress in your life. We are all like that. It's a human design. It's a human trait. When you're making progress, you're going to be happier in your life. So if your progress is getting out the door and in your car to go to the gym, then you need to celebrate that. You need to be excited about that. And it goes back to kind of what you said about the carrot is when you set an intention into something, you can be as an intentful and you can have such a high perspective and high vibration towards that, no matter what it is, even a carrot. Like I love to play around with people and you hold a carrot in your hand and you're like, I love this carrot. This carrot is going to nurture me. It has vitamin A. I love this carrot. I just want to hold it to my heart. And you can always have that intention with everything you do, right? So when you want to lose weight and you want to get healthier, you want to heal your gut, you're like, man, I'm having bone broth today because I am so happy to heal my gut. I'm so excited thank you. I am grateful for this bone broth to nourish me. So I forget where I was going with this, but it's about perspective and intent with what you're doing. And once you get the big foundation, there's always going to be next level stuff. There's always going to be something else to do. There's always another exercise trend that I can move you towards. There's always another gadget that we can take. There's always next level stuff. But really, you have to get. What's the saying go? You just have to be really good with the basics. You have to, it's like John Wooden, one of the greatest coaches of all time of college basketball. He was the greatest coach of all time because everyone coming on his team, he would tell them, you go onto the basket and you shoot a layup 2 feet from the basket and you do it 1,000 times, 1,000 over every single day, right? Because it's about the basics, repeating the basics. Repetition is the mother of all skills. When you can repeat and be consistent with what you're doing and then put good intention behind it, you're going to dominate anything you're trying to do in your life. And it goes down to gut health and healing your Hashimoto's and healing your thyroid and healing any aspect of your body. It goes down to it. And I'm sure you see that in your practice as well, right? You have to put that perspective and that intent towards it. Yeah, absolutely. And I've had many times in my life, whether it was health. I remember, probably 10 years ago, I went to the nurse and I said, I believe I'm gluten intolerant. Like I heard about this thing and I was tracking my food and I'm like, every time I eat this, I like blow up. And she rolled her eyes at me and she's like, no, you're not. And I was so hurt. Many times in my life, I felt like I wasn't heard. I felt like I would bump up against somebody else's, I don't know, sucks to be you. And that has like been my pattern where I'm like, okay, well then who do I go to? And in my own motivation, I'm like, that's why I do what I do. No one will ever turn away from me not having a solution or not having an action plan. And that's in life coaching and psychic aspects of things. But with health and nutrition, that's where Eric comes in. You're never going to come to him with an I don't know. You're going to walk away with an action plan, with a better understanding of your body. And if it's out of his scope of practice, whatever that is,
maybe it's watercolors, whatever. He's like, I'm going to refer you to somebody else. And I feel that is why I have him on today, because I want you guys to be exposed to practitioners like that. You can tell in his voice and how he talks, and he's like, I forgot where I was going. Because when you're so passionate.
In that flow state, yeah.
Yeah. When it's flowing, exactly. Like, those are the kind of people that I want to work with. Those are the kind of people I want my audiences to work with, who are so passionate and are so committed to the process and so committed to their clients that we are going to find an answer and a solution together.
And you touched on something, and I have to approach this, because so what you started to describe a little bit was the conventional medical model, and the conventional healthcare model today is broken, in my opinion. And a big passion that I have is I want to help solve chronic disease and illness in this country. Not only is chronic disease and illness going to bankrupt us as a country as a whole, and I don't want to get political, I don't do that, but I do know that the healthcare system is like damn near broken, and it's creating a lot of issues. If we can prevent a lot of these things, if we can have more of a holistic approach to what we're doing and prevent the onset of all these diseases, then you're not only helping yourself heal, but you're also helping your neighbor who is investing their dollar into the country, and so on and so forth, right? So, and it's all too common where the conventional medical model has failed us, has let us down. It's good for a lot of things. If I break my arm, please take me to a hospital, okay, right? If I have the flu, please take me to the hospital, so on and so forth. There's a lot of examples of how the conventional medical model is very empowering and very helpful. But if I have chronic gut issues or symptoms that I don't know where I'm coming from, or I'm tired all the time, or what did you say you went to the doctor for? You said something.
Kidney?
Your example was great. But you go to the doctor and you're like, hey, I'm feeling this. And they're
gluten,
like,
yeah.
gluten, right? I think I'm gluten intolerant. They don't deal with that. They don't mess with that. The conventional medical model is not designed to deal with your gluten intolerance. But more of a holistic practitioner like myself and others in the community, they're going to approach it in a more holistic fashion, look where you're at, and be able to solve that problem more efficiently and effectively. Because most of the conventional medical model, and I don't want to speak for all conventional medical model practitioners, but a lot of time it's medication or Band-Aids or things that cover up your symptoms instead of solving the root cause of the problem.
Totally, and that's what they're taught, right? Like, they spent my uncle is a doctor, and he spent so many years studying, and that's what they're taught. That's what they know, and so they're kind of like, we're not underdogs by any means, but people from the underside were like, whoa, we have a whole new thing. We're not going to learn from a textbook. Like, we have to tune in. We have to discover in a whole new way, and so that's where that comes in. And so this is a great segue into, let's talk about some client testimonials, because we can talk all day about how awesome you are, and I'm like, high five, he's amazing, go see him. But really the results speak. And so what are some of your top favorite testimonials with the clients that you've worked with?
One of my biggest ones, and it's funny too, because he was one of my first original ones, so we were really, really aligned. We were really, really in tuned, and I was training him physically prior to this, and we moved into, I said, hey, we really need to focus more on the health coaching side of things. He had Hashimoto's, and he had a lot of weight to lose. So he ended up losing 100 pounds, over 100 pounds. He reduced his thyroid medication down to the bare minimum. He was about to come off of it completely, but his conventional medical model practitioner wasn't ready for that. He was scared for him, so we created that block and that hesitation there. But over 100 pounds of weight loss, he felt good. He completely got his life back. He was able to do rodeo again and do all the things that he loved to do, because it's not about just creating more time in our life. It's about creating more quality time. No one just wants to live to be 110, 120 if you can't move around. But what if you live to be 120 and you're still running marathons, right? There's a big, big difference in that between time and quality time. So that was a big one for me. That was absolutely just mind-blowing to watch. And all within that 3-month period. And he still made progress after that. But just in that 3-month period alone, he lost over 100 pounds. It's mind-blowing. And it was pretty wild. He killed it though. He crushed it. He was all in with the whole concept and the idea of it. Another girl, younger girl, she was having debilitating IBS symptoms. She couldn't even work. She was her jobs were threatening to fire her. Like, she couldn't function as a human being because her IBS was so bad. She came to me. We fixed her up, healed her gut with the protocol that I run in my program. And night and day difference. She got a promotion. She got a second job because she had more energy now. So that just increased her quality of life. Another amazing client, she was a workhorse, and she actually was not having her monthly period, and we were able to get her on the right food and the right macronutrient breakdown to fit her training style, and to get her period back, balance out her hormones, so on and so forth. So that was a big one. And then another older lady I worked with, I eliminated her hot flashes, which I wasn't even really trying to do, but when you're healing the body in a holistic fashion, the hormones are going to balance out intuitively and naturally. So relieving her of hot flashes that were keeping her up at night and losing her sleep, that was huge for me. And her as well. I get attached to the results that some people get sometimes.
Yeah.
But another woman got off her antidepressants because we healed her gut. Countless women lose weight and feel better, more energy. And yeah, so that's just some of the hosts I've worked with, males, females. But I'm really, yeah, I love, it's crazy what healing the gut can do for you. It can do a myriad of things if you're trying to set that intention towards that.
Absolutely. And
Yeah.
if you guys haven't already, like, send me a message or something. I will show you my acne pictures. I had horrible, awful skin, cystic acne all over my face. Like, it was debilitating. You guys wouldn't guess it now, right? Because you can see my skin, but it was right. But it was so debilitating. I couldn't even go to the grocery store. I was so embarrassed, and that shift completely happened through nutrition, and also being on antidepressants and things like that. Nutrition is huge, and I love the idea that you not only have the plans and have the mind behind it to be able to look at somebody and say, okay, let's break this down on an individual level.
Yep.
Forgot where I was going with that too. We're just flowing here.
Yeah, story of my life there. That's good.
Yeah, but that's amazing. And I love that the results speak for themselves. So who do you know that does have Hashimoto's, that does have lupus, does have IBS, any stomach issues
Chronic disease.
Yeah.
Disease. It's chronic disease is rampant. It's unreal. So I agree, we have to label it. We have to pick them apart and, Hashimoto's and categorize, but like, it's chronic disease.
Yeah.
It's chronic disease and illness. Autoimmunity is rampant. Like, autoimmune disease, chronic disease, there's like you said, like, who don't you know that has some form, shape, form. I hate the word disease, but some level of disease in their life. It just means disease in the body, right? We all talk about that in the community. But, so I hate to use that word, but at the same time, who don't you know that isn't suffering from some level of chronic disease?
Right, and whenever I take a peek in it as, because I do a little bit of medical intuitive work as well, there's definitely like an energy signature there, right? Like whatever's going on in our space, like if someone says, I've used this example, it might be a little tangent, but if they're like, Ashley, you're a bad mom, I'm like, okay, cool. Like, it doesn't bother me, right? Like, I know that it's so untrue. Oh, there we go. Lower battery. It's untrue. Like, there's no room for that in my space. But if somebody were to say something that was a little bit more slicing, right? And I could feel it in my heart, guess what? That energy is in my space now because I could feel it. I couldn't feel it before, right? And so now, if we don't handle that, the grief, the guilt, resentment, then it can build up in our bodies, for sure. And so that's kind of the work that I do too, where I'll like dive in and really identify what it is that's trapped in those spaces and then give ourselves permission to release that. But this ties in perfectly with the nutrition aspect, because if we're eating those high vibrational food, and you mentioned one of the steps is in relationships too. Like, we are going to be facilitating the entire detoxification of their body, not only on a physical level, but on an energetic level as well. And that is incredibly profound, and that is life-changing.
100%.
That is life-changing. And
100%.
I had asked, previously, what is your favorite part of what you do? And you had said, like, lifelong change. Do you want to expand on that?
Yeah, just watching the transformation, watching those changes happen in people from a genuine, real root cause level. It's you don't know what you don't know. So sometimes in the society we live in, we get stuck and we feel good, we feel okay, we feel average. And my job as a coach is to have you thrive, not just survive. You're not supposed to just feel okay and whatever, I got my sleep. No, like, how good was your sleep? Like, did you sleep good? How good was that dinner? Like, oh my gosh, you had so much nutrients. You had so much good stuff you just put in your body. You're crushing it. Like we can't just be like, I eat healthy.
Yeah.
How lame is that? Like, I drank my bone broth today.
That is when life becomes magical. It really is. When you walk around, you're experiencing things on a whole new level.
Yes, perspective, mindset.
Yep. And what happens too is the colors are going to be more vibrant. I remember because especially going through dips with mental health and depression, things like that, I would go to a social event and I would smile, but it wasn't authentic. And I remember when I was tuning into my supplements and tuning into my nutrition, and I went to another event and I was authentically smiling and laughing, I felt my hormones were balanced. Like, I was tuning into that high vibrational energy, and so I could show up fully as myself. And so this is totally life-changing. So thank you so much for what you do. Two last questions for you. So number one, this is a pop-up question. What is your favorite word and what does it taste like?
What's my favorite word and what does it taste like?
Yeah.
I'm trying to answer intuitively. My favorite word,
It's just a shock factor, you guys.
And what does it taste like? I have no idea what it tastes like because I can't think of the word right now. I know there's funny words out there that I say a lot.
It could be anything. First one that pops in your mind.
I mean, I want to say conundrum, but I never say conundrum very often. I have no idea. You completely caught me off guard there.
I know.
I'm trying to think of a cool word.
Conundrum does kind of taste like a really bland, gluten-free piece of bread.
It's kind of a lame word. It's kind of I don't know why that word. Maybe because you put me in a conundrum. I'm trying to think of a word, so that was the word that popped in my head.
I know, that's just a fun one. I didn't prep him for it.
I like perspective. Perspective is good.
That's spicy.
That's a good word. Yeah, it is spicy, right? Perspective. And yeah.
Good.
There.
Yeah, I know. It's just a personality one. I love it.
Yeah.
Okay, so how can people connect with you? We have had such a beautiful introduction to who you are and what you do and what you represent and stand for. If somebody is interested in just doing a discovery session or a discovery call, what is the best way for them to get a hold of you?
I mean, cell phone is going to be number one, but I'm not going to hand out my cell phone number right now. But you can find me on Facebook. You can message me on Facebook. It's Eric Nelson. I do have a business page, but if you just message me on my personal page, that would be just as beneficial, just as effective. I do have a website. It's at AP Accelerated Performance, aphealthcoaching.com. Not a lot of information there, but it is my contact information is there. You can email me as well. Whatever modality you find that fits you to reach out and go, Eric, hey, let's talk. Once you find me and connect with me, there's a million other ways to connect, and we can go down that road and stuff like that. But Facebook is going to be the biggest way. That's where I put up all my videos and stuff like that too.
Perfect. He does great videos. Yeah, definitely check him out on Facebook. And of course, you guys can reach out to me too, because I know we have a long path and a long road together. So again, if you guys have any questions, feel free to drop them in the comments and we will be sure to answer. We love you so much. Wishing you an amazing, magical day full of all of the amazing things. And we'll see you next time.
Woo!
Bye.